GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of August, and we can see the Bitcoin yesterday putting in a fairly decent reversal candle, holding the 50-day moving average on our charts here. And as you can see, we've put in a higher low, we've come down for the retest. So I quite like the look of this structure so far. And what I'm really looking for over the next few days on Bitcoin is for to start to push up. Really, we need to clear around this 115, 700,000 level. 116,000, you can call it, is what I'd want to see a daily close above, and for us to attack this downsloping trend line to get daily closes above here to break out of this bull flag. And then I think we are in a great position to see higher prices in August, so and potentially up to a new all-time high. So those are the current thoughts on Bitcoin. Not too much has changed actually from our analysis yesterday. Really, we're chopping around here, obviously having lost this support around 116,000 previously. So we're into this sort of lower range here, but as long as we can stay above 112,000 and not make closes below, then I think we are in a good position to move a bit higher. And really, as I've been saying on the last couple of videos, what is supporting that is what's going on with the stock market. Stocks are strong. I think this pullback has potentially been a little bit of a trap for those people that have been overly quick to de-risk into the summer months, into August and September, which are historically weaker months for the stock market. I think a lot of people would have de-risked maybe a bit too early because we're not really seeing any signs in the data that things are starting to slow down. We've got earnings accelerating, record-breaking earnings in the Nasdaq 100, and we've got potential rate cut from the Federal Reserve coming in as well, being priced in September now. So we've got some bullish catalysts still on the horizon, and I don't really see things rolling over significantly before that rate cut happens, or whilst earnings continue to remain strong and people continue to be positioned the wrong side of this market. Remember, a lot of hedge funds, a lot of big funds have been left on the sidelines after we got this V-shaped reversal in the stock market. And what we usually see after these V-shaped reversals is some continuation as people are still the wrong side. People are scrambling to position into the market, expecting retests, expecting potentially lower lows or at least higher lows, but we didn't get any sort of low. We just have been grinding higher and higher and higher. And I do think that probably continues into the end of August, as I've been saying on this channel. So what I talked about yesterday just on the S&P is that I was looking for some of these retracements to start to get taken out. We did come off slightly. That's not too much of a concern. And the other thing I talked about was that we were looking at the VIX to potentially give us a bit of an early indication as to what is going on. And we did see the VIX come down further yesterday when I sort of came out on the video. We were down here at just above 17. We did spike yesterday off the back of the open up to close to 19 on the VIX, but then we since sold off again, and seeing that turnaround and that sell off back down to where we were at the start of yesterday then got me more bullish, and I actually entered a few positions, added to a few positions in the crypto market in anticipation of the stock market starting to creep back up again. You can see it is starting to turn around here. So I would expect stocks to make their way back to the highs of yesterday, and at an absolute minimum, look to sweep the liquidity from these highs before then trying some more downside, or if not, to push up higher and make their way back up to new all-time highs. So that's for the S&P and the Nasdaq. Obviously, just jumping back to Bitcoin very quickly, if we look at the daily and just go over to some of the paths we've drawn, like I say, I think the path up, it's going to go one or two ways from here. It's either going to be higher, we're either going to get this end of August rally, or we're going to see this Q3 weakness occur a little bit before I anticipated. We start from here and we come down lower. But look, I think either we're going to get a dip to buy towards the end of August if we come off lower from here. If not, we're going to get a dip to buy probably sort of mid to late September, maybe as late as early October if that weakness comes a bit later. So I'm still keeping a little bit of cash back in that scenario that we do actually see a dip at some point either this month or next month. But I want to keep my exposure because I don't think this dip is going to be too severe. I mean, if we were to come down to this 104 level that I've got here from current price, that's about an 8% pullback. I think most of us could probably withstand that, but also it's just the fact that it's not guaranteed. So it's like, as long as we continue to hold this 50-day moving average and continue to grind higher. Like I say, if we can get back above 116,000, we've got this long-term trend line here at around about 116.2. If we can get back above that, then we're looking at further upside. And like I say, the more gains to be had, the risk of further upside is a lot greater here than it is of downside, in my opinion, after we've had this massive shakeout earlier on in the year. And obviously, that did a lot for the positioning. That got a lot of people a lot more bearish positioned, a lot of people shaken out. And a lot of those people probably are still coming back into the market here and are going to be chasing this market higher if we do break higher from these prices. So, and of course, we saw something very, very similar in the stocks with that complete sort of V shape. Obviously, the same thing happening in crypto, the V shape reversal. So yeah, that's really the update on Bitcoin and the stock market. Like I say, my levels, looking to get above 116 in the short term and then break out from this bull flag. I think that will send us to higher prices for Bitcoin. Ethereum also just consolidating here. So I think Ethereum can make one more push before maybe some longer consolidation into the end of the year and then getting its breakout later on. Solana as well, we talked about yesterday. The fact that Solana was pushing up and showing a bit of relative strength, but it's since sort of come off over the course of yesterday and it's back around those mid 160s that I said would be an interesting area to add some Solana. So I'm still adding Solana here. We're obviously finding support on these moving averages, these daily moving averages. We've got a cluster there. We've got a similar setup on Sui as well. Sui now printing a Tom DeMark one candle as well. So this is basically a truncated nine. So this is the equivalent of getting a nine buy. We haven't had one of those for a while. We had a nine sell here, which sort of worked out for a few candles at least. But we haven't had a nine buy in some time. So this could be a decent opportunity to add to Sui. I have added to Sui over the last day myself. Another one I was looking at yesterday was PEPE as well. So PEPE coming onto this trend line, it's also got a Tom DeMark 9 buy and it's coming onto this longer term trend line. So if we just kind of look back, we can see we've been connecting the lows from August last year. We came below it. We then used it as resistance when we were below it. And now we've got back above it and we're looking to use it as support again. So it's been tracking this trend line fairly well. And when we have gone below it, it has been a decent accumulation zone. So it could be if we do come below this, like I say, if Bitcoin does drop down a bit and heads towards that sort of 110, 109, or even down to 104, I would expect PEPE maybe to come lower and could be a decent buy. But on this trend line, if it holds here, then we could get quite a nice move higher. So PEPE is one I've been looking at. Sonic we've covered as well has been relatively weak, but I am expecting an imminent turnaround. We have just at the moment front run this descending trend line. So do we come down and tap it or do we front run it? I'd rather see it front run, but it's been quite a frustrating trade to be in. The Sonic long, I have been talking about the fact that I'd be expecting price to turn around from here around the 30 cents level. It's now come below 30 cents. So again, it's probably shaken out quite a lot of longs that were positioned in above 30 cents. And let's see if we can get the turnaround. And another one I added to as well that I wanted to mention was TON as well. So TON has seen the pullback and personally, I'm looking at this as an opportunity. I think TON could be a stronger L1 over the rest of the bull market, and we've come right into that 50% retracement as well. So this is a decent buy level for me on ton around about this 3.17. I've been starting to position in and add to this long position myself today. So that is all I wanted to cover. And just to recap on Bitcoin, then we're looking for Bitcoin to continue some upside momentum here. Obviously, hold the recent low, hold the low from yesterday, and make its way back above 116,000. Closes above 116,000 will set us up for a breakout of this bull flag. And if we manage to do that, I'd expect higher prices coming in August time. But yeah, let's keep an eye. Like I say, I want to keep an eye on the VIX. I gave that yesterday as being this leading indicator. So that's why I really want to use as almost like an indicator to tell me where things are going to go from here. Where are we going to go from here? Can we manage to sort of drop this low from yesterday and start to come down? If we can, then I would expect risk on again, and we will see the stocks make new highs for the week, and probably Bitcoin makes its way above 116 and looks to break out from that bull flag. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's update, please do smash the like, and I'll be back again with the next one tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. GM, GM, GM.